I'm gonna leave you. I'm gonna leave you an 8-pack, and I don't want you to go through it quick.
You ain't got to buy me no fucking soda, man.
You greedy. You greedy.
I don't want no.
Come with me, we'll travel through the trials and tragedy, rest and play. Can you hear the spirits shout, the secrets in their melodies? Dream, explore the mysteries. Breathe, a new life is revealed to me. Once again, we'll start our story anew. Don't be afraid, I'll be with you. I'm here, reaching far across these new frontiers. With my life, fight this fear. In my hands, I hold the ones I love. Walk forward through the cold tide. Always to new horizons. Standing here, the way ahead's becoming clear. All across these new frontiers. In my hands, I hold the ones I love. Walk forward through the cold tide. Always to new horizons. Follow me, I'm standing on the border of everything. Listen close, can you hear the spirits sing? Lost messages of long ago. Like I knew before. See, I know what we're fighting for. Find the truth of who I'm meant to become. Another path I must now walk on. I'm here, reaching far across these new frontiers. With my life, fight this fear. In my hands, I hold the ones I love. tragedy, less than blue. Can you hear the spirits shout the secrets in their melodies? Demons for the mysteries. Breathe, a new life is revealed to me. Once again, we'll start our story anew. Don't be afraid, I will be with you. I'm here, reaching far across these new frontiers. With my life, my faith is fear. In my hands, I hold the ones I love. Walk forward through the cold time. Always a new horizon. Standing here, the way ahead's becoming clear. All across these new frontiers. In my hands, I hold the ones I love. Walk forward through the cold time. Always a new horizons. Follow me, I'm standing on the border of everything. Listen close, can you hear the spirits sing lost messages of long ago? Like you knew before. Don't coming clear. All across these new frontiers. In my hands I hold the ones I love. Walk forward through the cold tide. Always the new horizons. Follow me, I'm standing on the border of everything. Listen close, can you hear the spirit sing those messages of long ago? Like you knew before. See, I know what we're fighting for. Find the truth of who I'm meant to become. Another path I must now walk on. I'm here, reaching far across these new frontiers. With my life, I fight this fear. In my hands, I hold the ones I love. Walk forward through the cold tide. Always the new horizons. Come with me.
Hey, y'all. What's going on? Hold on. Where is it? My sister always wants to fucking call me right as I'm about to stream, dog. It's ridiculous. I don't know why this keeps happening to me, but I apologize for the long wait. It wasn't really intentional. Shit just kind of happened. No, it's a lie. My sister just likes to come in here and be like, you ain't doing nothing anyway. So this is where we're at. So let's see. Y'all can see and hear me, right? Ladies and gentlemen. Trail, start the stream already. She never fucking does that, bro. She never does that, bro. Oh my goodness. Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. So last week we talked about Sony, and I was going to talk about Xbox, and then fucking Nintendo was like, here are our earnings, here's the money we've made, and here is a whole bunch of other shit. So, yeah. So, let's see, where we at? I'm going to pull up Nintendo's gaming lineup for next year. And then I'm also going to pull up Nintendo sales that were recently announced. I think I was back on Tuesday. Where we at? I'm probably going to go back like 3 days. Do I have sales numbers still? Oh yeah, the Hogwarts Legacy. Come on. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. How are you guys feeling? Here is the money we made, and here's the money we still will make. Oh, good God. People don't know, dog. It's kind of funny because Nintendo had a pretty good week, considering fucking the Mario Kart DLC is done, and they have made a stupid amount of money. Damn, how much news was there? I'm like scrolling back trying to get to the fucking money situation, and I can't fucking find it because it's buried. Lord Almighty. So that's the Nintendo accounts. That's the series doing well on Switch. There's Zelda stuff going on. Every time Nintendo gets like conversations about like their money and their releases and shit, I have to dig through like Nintendo accounts and Nintendo Online and Nintendo Mobile and shit. And although those things are important, that's not like the core of what I was trying to find. That's the Zelda movie, which we will talk about that. Because that is something to be talked about. I wanted just to find the core sales. This bitch is buried. I think this came out like Tuesday or some shit, and it's driving me nuts. Where is it? Because I know it's here. Oh yeah, Microsoft talking about Switch users, which means little to me because that's more of a Microsoft thing and an illusion they've created than the reality that actually exists. That's the Switch 2 rumors, the release schedule, the million sellers. Okay, here we are. So, let's do this one and this one. So Nintendo in 2024 is very interesting. That's the million sellers. I needed. There was a release schedule, wasn't it? Yeah, here it is. Oh, I count every TV. What does that say? TV Oscar? What? Oh, I count every TV watcher as a Nintendo gamer. I see what you did. I think you hit C instead of hitting space. I got you. Yeah, I got you. All right, so if we're talking about next year for Nintendo, now granted, we don't have like a crazy, amazing list of games for next year, but we have a couple of titles, some of which I think people are excited about. I think the main two things being the Thousand Year Door remake and then the Princess Peach game. Hey, Android, what's up? I feel like I fucking talked with my sister and now my throat feels raspy and that's not good. It's not good. All right, but so 2024 for Switch and Nintendo is very interesting because there's rumors of a new console. We still have games coming out, and there's been a recent announcement of a Zelda live action movie, which more than likely won't come out until like 2025. I don't know. Does the Zelda thing even give a year? Hold on. No, it doesn't even have a year, so we don't even know the year. We just know it's coming out. It depends on when they start production on it, because we don't have cast or anything. So anything, actually now I think about it, this might be another like 3 to 4 year endeavor, depending on the situation. All we know is that the movie is the movie is going to happen, but there has been no casting or anything. So it depends on how quick the turnaround is. So I guess we'll see. But the point is, we have a movie coming in the future. We have more games, and then we have possibly a new console. While our current console is still selling gangbusters, and we haven't even hit all our major releases for this year. Because next week, shit hits the fan with fucking Super Mario RPG, which looks like to be our last Nintendo release of the year. But the point is, they about to make some fucking buku dollars. So Nintendo overall with the Switch has had a very financially successful. Not game wise, I don't know how people really feel, because when it comes to Nintendo games on the Switch, some of them have been better than have been the best in their series in terms of like actual game, and then some of them have just been the most financially successful, which those are like two different fucking things. But the interesting part to kind of acknowledge is that as of right now, for next year, game wise, we have a remake. I'm counting Another Code as Another Code is technically a remake and a port, but it's also like a game that the US never got. So yeah, Mario vs. Donkey Kong, which is essentially a remake. Princess Peach Showtime, new game. HD remaster for Luigi's Mansion. Remake of Paper Mario, The Thousand Year Door. And then Metroid Prime, which is still on the damn list of games, but it has nothing, absolutely nothing to be announced or to be acknowledged. So it's there, but we don't really know anything about it. So there's not much we can really say or do about that. The point is that we have games. Although I will say, usually getting a fuck ton of remakes is a kind of a concerning situation. Mainly because when we start getting remakes is usually when we start marking the end of a console's like life. Like the 3DS went through the same thing. Alright enough, with a fucking remake of damn with a HD. Actually it wasn't HD. What do you call I guess a 3DS port of the original Luigi's Mansion. So it's kind of funny that Luigi's Mansion 2 is getting ported to the Switch. Hey Navy. So I mean we're obviously near the end of a life cycle with the Switch. Because usually when they start doing remakes, is a good, yeah, I guess a downpour would be the best way to describe it, Donnie. That's exactly it. So we're definitely on our way out with the Switch, and Nintendo's kind of hinting at it with all these fucking remakes. What's up, Red Dragon? Nintendo's hinting with all these fucking remakes. What the hell? Oh, we don't care, do we? Do I care? No, I don't care. All right, so with all these remasters, ports, and remakes, and the only like new game on this list being Princess Peach, which comes out in March, by the way, and even like the Thousand Year Door doesn't have a release date. But we at least know that January, February, and March have games, with only one of those three being new. And then somewhere between May, June, and July, I'm assuming is when we'll get Luigi's Mansion 2 and Paper Mario. Yeah. So our current situation is that we have, I don't know how much more is going to get announced, realistically. Like, we're probably expecting a new game console this year, and more likely it'll be around this time or a little bit earlier next year. So that means they can't be announcing anything else crazy. Actually, the best way to know is when we get our next Nintendo Direct, which the next Nintendo Direct should either be in December or January, because this is also around the time when we just finished the Mario Kart 8 DLC. I think Splatoon's expansion is coming out soon-ish. And also the support of that one will probably drop soon-ish. It depends on how quickly they're trying to turn around Splatoon 4. I kind of hope they wait, because I'll be real with you, there's a reason why I didn't pick up Splatoon 3. Splatoon is going to become the Call of Duty of Nintendo consoles, but the one thing I would like is if it doesn't turn into a game that we get so frequently that I just get burnt out on it. Because I skipped the third one for a reason. As far as games go, Nintendo already has more titles than Sony and Xbox. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm not really worrying about titles. But it's weird because unlike the other two that are like around, I would say somewhere around their halfway point of console generations, like Nintendo's at the end of theirs. Like next year will be 7 years that the Switch has been out. So we're already... So the transition's different, because I would say with all these fucking remakes, you're not looking any much better than like Sony when it comes to remakes, but you're also about to release a new console, so that's fine. I imagine you wouldn't want to push a brand new title or too many crazy brand new titles on your fucking old system, Because more than likely, the new Nintendo Switch or the sequel or the successor will probably get announced early on next year. I'm thinking like March or April. And then they'll probably release by like September. So I get it. Also, you're remaking what most people would consider fan favorite games. Like the one we got coming out next week is a game that literally people have loved to death. People love RPG to death. There is no argument that that game will sell purely because people have wanted something from that game in a form of a remake, or remaster, or port, something, a sequel. So people will buy that one. Thousand Year Door is probably on the same level. It's the Paper Mario game everybody and their grandma talks about. And Paper Mario already had games that were consistently coming out anyway. Some to varying quality, but whatever. The RPG for Mario, I think, is a bigger deal because, well, we already lost the studio that makes the Mario and Luigi games, so what are we gonna do? This is actually this will be the latest RPG game we've gotten since what, Paper Jam? Was Paper Jam the last one on the 3DS? I think Mario and Luigi Paper Jam. I think that was the last one we got. Yeah, I saw that, Donnie. I saw that in a I saw that in a post earlier today, actually. Which I'm curious what the reviews are going to be like for that when it comes out. But the point is that am I overly excited for some of these remakes? Kind of, because oh yeah, Origami King was later, but that's right, because well, no, that's Paper Mario, Omar. I'm talking about RPG, not. Let me specify. Paper Mario, although being an RPG, isn't the same thing. I'm talking about like the Mario Luigi stuff. Paper Jam, I believe, was the last game. Last one's Paper Jam, yeah, unless you include the remakes of Superstar Saga and Inside Story. Oh, that's true. They did remake those games. Yeah, you're right. The remakes, right. Which now that company is gone, or that developer is gone, I'm curious, is Mario and Luigi going to be a thing at all? Or are they going to try to continue with the Mario RPG saga now? Because technically, Mario and Luigi was more of an extension of this while not being a sequel. It was just an extension of it. I never got the remake complaints. I never played some of these games, so I'm happy they're here. Well, no, and don't worry about it. Like Melvin, at least with the games that are remaking, I'm in a similar boat. The only game I've played on here is the original Mario vs. Donkey Kong. I played that on the GBA. So that game doesn't mean a lot to me in terms of me wanting to play it because I already played that game. I own that game. And the first game is great. The one thing about Mario vs. Donkey Kong that was always a problem was the over-reliance on fucking the minis and the toy gimmick. And they kept releasing the games, and there was like nothing really crazy different about them. And it kind of bummed fans out because it was just kind of a mediocre continuation of a series until it became kind of homogenized. I get that Mario vs. Donkey Kong remake, even though they're not acknowledging that it's a remake, but we know it's a remake. It took me a minute to realize it was a remake, and then I'm like, why does this level design look so familiar? Oh, because I played the fucking original game. But yeah, I never played RPG, which is preloaded on my Switch, and I never played Thousand Year Door, so these will be new experiences for me, so I'm 100% down into enjoying this as an experience again. I guess the question then becomes, going into 2024, knowing we're getting a new console, what else are you going to really show off? Because when you look at the Switch and what we've had 2 Kirby games, we've had 1 3D Mario, we've had 1 2D Mario, not including remakes, we've had a Zelda from the Wii U era, and then we had a Switch exclusive Zelda. We've had 2 generations of Pokemon, which is the other thing that's messing me up, because Pokemon usually goes about 3 years for a generation. that's the one thing that's kind of messing me up with the new console conversation, because Pokemon always goes 3 years. It always goes 3 years. So going 3 years, Scarlet and Violet came out, is only a year old. Scarlet and Violet will be a year old like soon, like in the next week soon, right? So we've only hit Scarlet and Violet's first year. So we arguably have 2 more years of Scarlet and Violet. Well, no, Splatoon, I get the burnout, but it's become one of my favorite game series from them. True. And that's the other problem. Like, if I'm going by the cycle, Pokemon would be too early to have a new game, unless it's a remake. And even then, that fucking Gen 9 is still too young. Splatoon 3's been out since when? Splatoon 3 is only about a year old. Splatoon 3 came out like a year ago. So, and Splatoon 2 was at the launch of the Switch. Wasn't it? Yeah, it was in 2017. So we waited 5 years between Splatoon 2 and Splatoon 3. So arguably we shouldn't get another Splatoon game until Splatoon like 4, which at the earliest should come out, if we're going by that schedule, like 2027. The only problem with Splatoon 3 is that they're thinking they were gonna do a game per system. I think the problem is that it's weird because I'm very conflicted about how I feel about new console. Because when I'm thinking about the games that we usually get, it's not. I think Splatoon's going to give themselves a development cycle. Even putting out a game in 2024 for Splatoon is kind of early, considering Splatoon's whole thing was like, I get that it's supposed to be Nintendo's Call of Duty, but even they're not going to fucking keep. Like, I can't see them putting like. The problem is that we get a new console for Nintendo next year. It's got, in my mind, it has to be backwards compatible. Because you got too many IPs that are still in the middle of doing shit. Like Pokemon is just getting its DLC, its last DLC, next month, right? Splatoon's only like a year into its new game life cycle. Like, to me, if this game, if the new console isn't backwards compatible, I don't understand how this is gonna work, because there's too many IPs that like are just now like getting their push. Even putting Princess Peach out seems a little weird for a console that's about to die, which makes me more confident in saying we're gonna get a backwards compatible fucking console. We're definitely like I almost would bet money that the console is gonna be backwards compatible. Otherwise, you got 2 game IPs that you just put out games for that are gonna be irrelevant in a year. Because the difference also is, and it's something to note, Nintendo doesn't like support their old systems the same way Sony does. The one thing I will always give Sony credit for is Sony supports their previous system even when their new system is out. Like the PS2 was still relevant for years. Like, to the point where it was getting games like Sonic Unleashed and shit years after it was irrelevant, right? They support their old systems. Nintendo doesn't. Nintendo very much will be like, hey, new console, move all this shit over there. So it's gotta be backwards compatible. Cool. Because if it's not, then Splatoon is dead, Princess Peach is dead, Pokemon is dead, and I don't fucking see them doing that. I personally don't see them doing that. The other thing to note is that Nintendo's super fucking close to beating Sony's record. Because I believe the PlayStation 2 topped out at 150. And based off of this recent financial report, I think Nintendo Switch is at 132, right? So they would need a little bit over 18 million more to like beat the record and be the most successful game console. Now, granted, is this something you absolutely need? No. But as a Nintendo fan, Do I want it? Yes. 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 Let's see. Pokemon would probably keep the Generation 10 on Switch if there weren't enough players. Now everyone's jumping to a new console. If that was the case, Splatoon 2 would not have done as well as it did. That's true. 5 years is not bad of a wait for shooters. It's not. But the point I'm making is that if that's the case, that means the new system would launch without a Splatoon game, without a Pokemon game, without a Zelda game. The only thing that console would have at launch is probably a new Mario game. And you wouldn't even expect a new Pokemon game for at least another 2 years. That's the other problem. Like, I don't see Nintendo being dumb enough to be like, we're about to release a console that isn't backwards compatible and fucking like not put anything new on it. Because they already released the Fire Emblem this year. So you wouldn't even expect a Fire Emblem next year. Like when you think about like the titles that we got this year, it'd be wild to think that all of a sudden we're about to get a bunch of other new shit. Like Kirby released a year ago. Bayonetta, fucking, like I'm trying to think of the launch. The only thing you could really get away with is maybe another Smash Brothers game. And I don't even know if he's willing to do that because that's been up in the air about what kind of game that's going to be. When you think of like Nintendo's mainstay consoles, which games do you think they're really about to fucking announce next year? Retro, chill the fuck out, bro. We only have 2 Fire Emblem, mainline Fire Emblems on the Switch. Now, I expect the Fire Emblem, they could remake one of those that didn't come out. Like, they could. They could. I'm just saying, when I'm looking at titles, Mario Kart is a weird position. Because, yes, we haven't had a new Mario Kart in years, but you just finished the DLC for Mario Kart 8. In my mind, I'm just like, 3D Mario is perfectly viable. I like that one is probably a shoo-in. That one in Metroid Prime is kind of a shoo-in. But like I said, when it comes to certain IPs, we got 3 Fire Emblem games on the Switch we're not doing that. I'm not counting 3 Hopes as mainline. I'm just not gonna do that. Alright. Honestly, I don't think we're getting a Switch successor until 2025. That would make more sense, Omar. I'll say that. That's my issue. I think that would make more sense. Because waiting until 2025 makes way more sense for a console. But I'm imagining we're getting some sort of Switch revision, at least. Well, joke's on you. 3 Hopes is the main game. Fuck you, Donnie. Fuck you, Donnie. But like, even Monolith Soft, we just finished Xenoblade 3 earlier this year, right? With the fucking DLC. So Xenoblade 3, I don't expect another Monolith Soft game for a bit either. Like, when you think about it, a lot of their IPs, they either just did games for this year or last year. I think we got a while for Splatoon 4. Agreed. The DLC hasn't even come out yet. Exactly. Yeah, it's time for Xenoblade Chronicles X2. Like, I think that's the problem. We're currently in a position where, although the fandom isn't against having a new console, considering their release dates for a bunch of their titles, DK would make sense, but we don't know. Considering we're still waiting on Retro to fucking put out Metroid Prime 4, who the hell's handling DK? I'm not saying it's not like, we have enough time. Like, it's been enough time for a new DK, absolutely. Who the fuck's making a new DK? Because Nintendo hasn't made a new DK in decades. The last people who made DK was Retro, and Retro currently is still in the middle of Metroid. So I'm looking now. ARMS 2 would be something absolutely warranted, but the problem with ARMS 2 is ARMS 2 isn't like a hard hitting game. Like, realistically, when I'm looking at a new Nintendo console, the only thing I'm thinking of is like hey, look, new Mario. And I'm going to be real with you, that seems kind of weird now, considering we've been slammed with a bunch of Mario shit lately. Like, between the movie, the remake of the RPG game, and Thousand Year Door, a new 2D Mario, like, and then the Princess Peach game, which I get is a spin-off game, but still Mario, plus fucking Mario versus Donkey Kong. Like, it makes sense. Once again, capitalize on the popularity of the movie. You about to get Mario up the ass. But 3D Mario is the only thing that would make sense as a launch title. That's why I'm like so confident it's got to be backwards compatible. Because if it's not, there's no way, dude. There's no way. You don't have enough. That's my concern. Nintendo has IPs, but the problem has always been is Nintendo is in a weird position, kind of how Sony handles it, where they don't always grab all their old IPs. Some of their IPs stay dormant for years. Some IPs stay dormant for decades and don't get touched, and then randomly get revived. Like Jesus came down and just dug his hand in the dirt and was like, let's see what I can grab here. It feels squishy. Here's a random remake of Advance Wars. So I don't know. What's up, Jazz? What's up, Dean? What's up, Julian? You could probably do Mario Party. When was the last Mario Party? We had that game that felt like it should have been bigger, but was a good game overall. Is it Mario Party Superstars is what I'm thinking of? Yeah, Mario Party Superstars. That came out. Yeah, it's only been 2 years. It's been 2 years since Mario Party. And the first Mario Party came out It's been 2 years since then. And the last one came out before that. Wasn't that like 2018 or some shit? 2018, 2017? You could get away with Mario Party, but that'd be like a late game. Kid Icarus is something I would want, but I don't like. Kid Icarus is something I want, but I recognize it really took Sakurai to bring interest into that IP. And I don't think anybody else has given that much of a shit. Because when we think about our current rotation of IPs for Nintendo, let's go through the ones that get the most play. Pokemon, Mario, Zelda, Splatoon, Fire Emblem, Xenoblade, Kirby. I guess Smash and Mario Kart, obviously. I'm trying to think of the ones that get like consistent rotation. Let's look through the list. Jesus. I don't want to count ARMS because ARMS has only had one game. Bayonetta 3 wouldn't be coming anytime soon. Xenoblade, I already counted that. It's not a lot. When you think about it, it's like maybe eight IPs that get rotated consistently. No, Princess Peach looks good, but still. Another Code is a fine. I'm fine with that one because one part of that collection is a game that we never got in the States, and the other reason is that it's a relatively unknown IP. But Nintendo games that we're looking forward to. No, I already counted Kirby. What's up, Orion Sword? We don't have a lot of. I guess if we count. I don't want to count Metroid because Metroid isn't in rotation, but it has been relevant recently. Remember, I forget we got Prime, we got the Prime remaster, and we had Dread, so I'll count Metroid. But we got about like 10 IPs that seem to be in full rotation. And some of those games have just come out within the last year or two. And Nintendo tends to rotate out. So unless Nintendo's about to fuck around and mess with some IPs we haven't seen in a while, which is entirely plausible. I think the Game Awards will be the most interesting thing. Because the Game Awards is also like next. Is it next? It's next month. And obviously we know people are talking about GTA 6. But like, what do you, like, I guess the question is, we know Monolith Soft's making a new IP. Remember, they just finished 3. They've been working on 3 until like this year. What if Nintendo does cross-gen this time for Switch? Oh, they absolutely have to. If we get a console next year, I am betting money it's cross-gen. Because if it's not cross-gen, then you're about to kill a bunch of games for no reason. So I'm going to still stick to that money. Like, and that's why I say it's weird. Because I won't say I'm worried for Nintendo as much as I'm just curious. On top of this whole Legend of Zelda news, which is just more of an extension of their brand. It's like, did you like Zelda? You about to get a fuck ton of more Zelda. Because you know they made buku dollars on fucking Mario's movie. Oh no, yeah. Yeah, Donnie. As much as I hate to acknowledge it, the Game Awards is something you're going to have to get your hands into no matter what. It's just the nature of the situation. But yeah, it's just we're in a weird spot with Nintendo because we're in the potential new system hype, but also like what games are we getting from Nintendo next year that aren't, because the only game on the list of games we know about that we know are coming out next year is Princess Peach, which is cool of a game as Princess Peach can be. Like, it's still like one game and the other ones are all remakes. Star Fox is definitely on the watch. And to be fair, I think everybody and their grandma would be excited for Star Fox. Like, I don't even think this is a conversation to not have. But the fans will be excited. That's the thing. Nintendo has a bag. Nintendo has a bag of things that they can still pull. The question is what they are willing and willing not to pull. The weird thing is that I'm not, it's not that I'm worried. Like I said, I'm not worried. I'm just curious. Because we're in such a weird position. Because I don't think they're going to fucking like, I get that we need a new console. Because we'll be at 7 years officially in like March. Which is, I think, part of the reason why Peach is coming out around that time. But then again, you got Thousand Year Door, that's summer-ish. Punch-Out's a weird position too, because let's be real here, Punch-Out has that one game on Wii, and it's barely been acknowledged since. That's the problem with Star Fox. Star Fox had its last new game, was on the Wii U, and it was a very like, we're gonna do this, but like, it's kind of haphazardly done. I mean, hell, we just got Pikmin this year, so he's even Miyamoto's out of his bag of like IPs he usually tries to push. There's a reason why I forget the Mario sports games, not because they're all terrible, but just people are just, I don't know, bro. It's different. It's just a different position. I was gonna wait a little bit later, but I'm probably gonna hop into the Discord, my server. So for those of you who want to express your opinions, you can get in there and we can talk about it. Because I'll be honest with you, I'm a lot more conflicted when it comes to Nintendo because I'm not really worried about them financially. I'm just curious what direction we're going. Are we getting new games? You could wait a bit more. Jesus Christ. What the fuck? Let's see. Yeah, we'll be in Gamer Chat. So, I am in the Discord for those who want to hop in and give their opinions. Because I'm still trying to figure out. I'm kind of racking my brain here. Because money-wise, I'm not worried. IP-wise, I'm not worried. I have my concerns with the movie. I kind of wish the Zelda movie was animated, but it also depends on which version of Link and Zelda and Ganondorf we get. Like, and it's the first fucking movie that we're getting for Zelda, so I'm thinking it's gotta be Ocarina of Time. It's definitely probably gonna be Ocarina of Time is what they're gonna adapt, or a variation of Ocarina of Time. Because I don't see it being anything else. Breath of the Wild would be marketable, but Ocarina of Time would get the fucking reaction. Also, hi Donnie. Donnie thought he was slick, like I didn't see him before you hit the button.
Yeah, sure. We'll leave it like that.
Oh Lord, I don't see if it was animated, Julian. I could see them doing Skyward Sword. I think because it's live action, it's probably either gonna be. I'm saying Ocarina of Time makes the most sense. It could be. It could be the. Go ahead.
If they do Ocarina of Time, the only thing I worry about is, oh, they're gonna say, yeah, Ganon is good. He's just a part of an oppressed race. Oh.
Donnie. Donnie, chill. Listen, it's wait, or they just might go back to Zelda 1.
Zelda 1, the game with minimal story unless you read the manual,
yes.
where he has to save a princess, and whenever this comes out, let's say 2027,
Yeah.
modern day ain't gonna happen.
Also, what's up, DJ? You don't want them to follow any of the games? I mean, Retro, I get that. And to be fair, they don't even have to. But this is the first time Zelda's been on the big screen, so I can't see them not. I kind of, like I said, I kind of wish it was animated. But, I mean, we're past that part. Like, they've already...
Retro says that, but there's mangas that follow the games, and they're pretty good.
Yeah, I don't see them not following the games. Like even Mario, for all of its liberties, still mostly kind of follows the games anyway. It kind of my only issue with Mario is that it kind of slammed too much in the first movie. Like realistically, they could have took their time because Mario has a cool world to explore, and it kind of gets rushed through for the sake of like. It's more getting rushed through for the sake of like visual beauty than it is for like lore, which I think because it's Mario, you can easily turn into like a consistent series. Like people have already talked about the Nintendo verse because it's such an easy they have enough IPs to do it with. But yeah, fucking also hey Red Dragon. But yeah, as far as the movie's concerned, because it's live action, if it's not Ocarina of Time and it's not the first one, it's Twilight Princess. That's like the only three I'm thinking. And that's only because Twilight Princess low-key lends itself to that anyway. The problem with Twilight Princess is that since it comes after Ocarina of Time, it kind of doesn't make sense to do first. No, I can. Go ahead.
Technically, Majora's Mask comes after Ocarina of Time, so.
Yeah, well, the point is that Twilight Princess would still be later on the timeline. Is my whole point. Also, DJ, like I said, if it was animated, Wind Waker would be a shoo-in, but it's not. If it was animated, Wind Waker would have been like one of the first ones I mentioned, but it's not. The fact that it's live action, to me, limits which ones they're going to do. To me, it's between those three. And realistically, in my mind, it's probably either an Origin or it's fucking it's Ocarina of Time. And Ocarina of Time would make the most sense. Cause
I do believe it's gonna be.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I do believe like it probably will be an origin, like how they did Super Mario. I think it's gonna be an origin story.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. I'm not really surprised or concerned about that point. I mean, obviously, like I said, I will always pick animation over live action in a lot of ways, but I get they're doing different avenues, and hey, if nothing else, Sony will make some money, right?
Yeah, they'll distribute the movie and the music for it.
Of course they are, which means we can't play any of it because copyright.
Yeah, just like for Xenoblade Chronicles X when they distributed the music for that.
We can't win sometimes. We just can't. The music was good though, so I guess we'll take that as a W. We just can't play it, or else they take all our money or block our channel.
Yeah.
DJ, I don't disagree with you. I would have preferred an anime, but like we can't. I mean, that ship has sailed. Hey, Dean.
Hello.
Oh wow, Dean's in the chat.
I know, right? This never happens.
You have any thoughts on the Zelda film, Dean?
On the Zelda film, it exists. I'm cautiously optimistic, excited about it. I think, I don't know. It's probably gonna be an origin story, like you said earlier. That's more than likely what it's gonna be. People said they want. I think they wanted Vin Diesel as Ganondorf.
Oh my god.
They need to stop. I don't even
I
want to.
know, right?
Yeah, at least
Oh,
you didn't
man.
say John Cena.
Yeah.
What was the other? Oh, Dwayne Johnson was the other one.
No, please.
I know, it's so great.
It's so that's the other reason. So here's the thing. When the voice acting cast for Mario got announced, everyone had their reservations and concerns. The good news is also hi Ryan Sword. The good news is you can change your voice, and to be fair, most people were pleasantly surprised with Chris Pratt's performance. Live action, you're just not gonna sell me on Vin Diesel. You know what? I would take Vin Diesel over. Let's put it this way. I would take Vin Diesel over The Rock. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah.
The
It was
Rock-
mostly jokes, I think.
The Rock doesn't act. The Rock is just him in every film he's in. Vin Diesel
Yeah.
isn't insanely better, but I think he's better than The Rock. I'll say that.
It's all
I
about
like-
family.
I like The Rock in the one movie I watched. I don't remember what movie it was.
That's
but
not
I
a
liked him
good.
in that movie.
That is not a
No,
good
I know,
sign.
right?
Now,
One movie.
Oh, he was in that a DC movie. What was it?
Oh, Peacemaker.
No, DC.
Oh, DC. Black Adam?
superhero movie. Black Adam. Yeah, I liked him in there.
Black Adam, yeah.
Jessica, we've only been going for almost an hour. That's about it. I don't like The Rock. Oh, this way, I like The Rock within reason, but I don't want The Rock in any of my video game movies. Okay.
Well, he was in
no.
Rampage.
The only thing we're gonna, all I'm
hold
gonna
on,
say
hold on,
is,
hold on.
all I'm gonna say is, I haven't really seen any casting choices I really want, but the one I thought that was fine and I would be fine with it is Idris Elba as Ganondorf. I think that one would be fine. I'm not in love with that, but I'm not against it. It's not like
Well, he's already Knuckles, so why not give him freaking Ganon for Nintendo, huh?
Oh, was he Knuckles?
he voices Knuckles in the live action, which is
Oh, okay.
it's different, but it's not bad. It's just different.
What do you mean it's weird? Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just a weird. I thought it was a weird casting choice when I heard him, and then you hear him, and you're just kind of like, oh, they're really doing that like native thing, and like, I guess that's fine. It's just not what I would have expected. I don't hate him as Knuckles. He started growing on me towards the end of that film.
At least
I
it's
was
an actor
actually-
I could respect.
I was actually thinking like Dave Bautista, the guy who played Drax in Guardians. I don't know why, but I think.
Oh, that guy is gonna retire. So
Yeah, because he
Oh, yeah, I heard about that.
But yeah, the Zelda thing is kind of an interesting point. But
Tom
I'll,
Holland is Link. Let's go.
No.
Now,
also at this
oh,
point, I
wait,
think.
wait. Now, I want to throw something out there.
Go ahead.
Okay. I think this is something that, needs to be of important note. The only way, well, they could fuck it up multiple ways, but the biggest fuck up they could possibly do is if they make Zelda fucking underage, you fucked
Oh.
up.
Oh.
Throughout the damn movie, nobody gives a shit anymore. Just if they don't make her over 18 like she does visually, then not throw it out.
So,
it depends on which Zelda you're talking about.
ooh.
Well, this is essentially gonna be like an origin thing, so realistically they could
Because if they
You
do
have
Ocarina of
a-
Time,
So here's my
you have
thing.
to have a young.
Here's my thing. You can get away with young Zelda if you do something like Ocarina of Time, you could get away with a young Zelda, considering that
I
game
think
plays with
handle
time
that.
travel.
Oh, okay.
So you could get away with it
Imagine.
there, but that's the only time you get away with it. And honestly, for the first movie, you probably don't want to do time travel in the first fucking
Yeah.
movie. So yeah, I don't.
It's probably going to be based on either the original Legend of Zelda or Link to the Past, or like one of the first big Zelda games.
That would make
So
the
that means
most
we're gonna
sense.
see Link's uncle die in the first few seconds.
I mean, that may
I
not.
mean-
That may not be a terrible thing, realistically.
What
I mean, they
fuck?
could be.
The problem is,
creative with it. Look at Mario.
here's the problem. Like everyone recognizes Mario and Link, right?
No.
we're gonna fucking fight. My point is that also retro. You never want to use time travel as a mechanic for your first film.
Okay,
Okay,
hold on.
never. Time travel.
Everybody knew Link. They wouldn't be calling him Zelda.
Okay, fine. The point I'm making is, it actually goes to my point. The people are aware of the characters, but people don't really know. Like the running joke from a casual fan of Link is he's the guy that goes ha all the fucking time. Like there's not a lot there. So giving him like an important familial death in the beginning isn't really a terrible idea anyway. So
Watch it be silent movie.
what? Legend of Zelda: The Death of Uncle.
Yeah, watch him be silent. Like he won't talk at all. Be mute.
No,
Oh, if they were able to do that, I'd be happy.
I put it this way.
That's so
Give the actor chops if he actually could pull it off.
You know what? I wouldn't be overly. Here's my thing. I think he should use words seldomly. So when he does talk, it hits harder. Like almost as if the death of his uncle traumatized him, and it kind of put him in this weird position where he still wanted to do good things, but he never really could let that out of his mind that he couldn't protect his family. So he doesn't talk much. And if anything, you could have that lead into him and Zelda's relationship where she like is intrigued by his muteness. Now, is it interesting? Kind of, but it creates more. I'll give Don. I actually would agree with Donnie. I think it would make for interesting like interactions. Having a character who's like mute, but for a completely different reason. Because in the games, they never really probably explain why he's mute. He's just fucking mute.
Yeah, only Breath of the Wild actually had an explanation for that, but the other games, no, they never did.
Yeah. So
Wait, what was the explanation?
Pretty much he, from what I remember, he just didn't want to talk as much and just felt he was reserved, more reserved.
Oh wait, isn't that just him in general? Like in all the game series, he's just stoic and just keeps to himself.
no, because he's not.
No,
Because he's not
because-
stoic in those games.
If you think of Wind Waker's Link, that kid is so emotive that you just see his.
It's just weird that he doesn't talk. that one's like, why aren't you talking? The other reason why I don't think, because I know some people mention Wind Waker. The other reason besides it not being animated, Wind Waker kind of fluctuates between feeling like a pirate film and a fucking like adventure. So I feel like,
Well, if you read the manga for it too, it's pretty comical. So they could get away with some comedy with Wind Waker.
oh yeah, definitely. I mean, because let's be real here. The other problem is that Link is usually by himself in a lot of these stories. So
Yeah.
it
Like
depends.
Wally.
Wally was good though. I fucking love Wally. So I mean, I'm like I said, that's why I said I wasn't.
that's good.
I wasn't against Donnie's like whole him being mute, but I like the idea of him being mute because he's traumatized. Like he's seen too much. Like he ends up joining like Zelda's army, or technically,
Oh no,
or,
he's gonna get Navi at the beginning, and that's gonna be the.
oh
talking-
well, that's
No, no.
that's if they go by that. That's if they even
Yeah.
choose to go that route. But yeah, like there's some cool things you can do. Like that's why I said I like the idea of him getting traumatized and not justifying his muteness. Like him saying something leads to his uncle's death, and he kind of holds it in for a while. Or maybe like he joins the king's army and he witnesses a lot of death on the battlefield and it puts him in a bad state of mind. Like just making him feel more like a war-torn hero or someone who's gone through some shit. Because the problem is that, like it's been said before, in the games, in some cases, he just doesn't talk and there's no reason behind it. So it's like, give him a reason. And I will
give him a reason, Vato.
But yeah, and like I said, we have a while for this movie to come out anyway. Hell, we don't even have actors yet, so we damn sure aren't gonna see this film for probably at least the next 5 years.
Chris Pratt as Link.
Oh my goodness.
No, it also.
Jack Black as Ganondorf.
Oh God.
The only thing I'm wondering is, will there be, if they were to go the American route, or just actually go for a British cast?
Are we running with the idea that the Legend of Zelda series is like canonically just British?
That'd be horrible because that's what people think Xenoblade is.
Well, if they go the same route as they did for
Yeah, but I'm fine with that
Mario,
for Xenoblade.
Since it's Nintendo, they might be doing the whole, let's hire a bunch of big actors and see what happens. You know?
Yeah, I don't want them to do
Yeah,
that, bro.
No, I don't want it either. But it's Nintendo. You know what they did with
Marvel
Mario.
mentality, but
I think it worked out
can see
mostly
them
for Mario.
doing that.
I get that point. To me, it worked out mostly for Mario. There's a couple of voices in
More
Mario.
because it's just
But go ahead.
voice acting. This is literally live action.
That's why I'm afraid that they even went live action. I'm like, bro, you
They
could
should have went animation first. I don't know. I would prefer
As
it.
Ganondorf.
I would have
Watch,
preferred
we
it.
got Blue to play Ganondorf.
Animation.
Yeah.
You know, that reminds me. There was this pilot, this pitch that have you guys ever seen that one Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, the CGI one, the one
2007 one.
the one that had Mako as Splinter? You know,
Yeah, you're talking about that
Aku's
CGI one from like the first CGI one. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that one. Well, the studio behind that actually had done a pitch before for animated Zelda. It never got picked up, but it's like, yeah, maybe if we had that first, a live action would be a lot more easy to swallow.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's the casting is gonna really be the big thing. The casting's gonna be my major. Like once I get my Link and my Zelda and my Ganondorf, that's going to be the. Are we excited? Or are we just like, you gotta show me a trailer, like, because some acting choices you can just be inherently excited about, but like, if it's like the same thing, actually, pretty much what happened when Chris Pratt got announced, we were like, you have
Well,
to.
they were just mad realistically because not really because of him, because of like, oh, we didn't get Charles Martinet, even though
I don't know why people. That one wasn't really a hard hit to me anyway. Because one, Charles Martinet is still in the movie, and then two, do you really want that Mario for what was it, an hour and a
Doesn't
half?
be doing that I
just don't.
yeah, because I don't.
Go ahead.
It just wouldn't have worked because, like, I mean, yeah, he has like some like one-liners, but it's like that's like I don't know that like for at least in this role for like the movie, it just wouldn't have worked. Like, because he's gonna be doing a lot of talking, like just
And giving various
Lots of
emotions.
movies.
That's the other problem.
yeah, Chris Pratt. See, at least with Chris Pratt, like, okay, yeah, I mean, I don't care that he's a big actor. It's just like, okay, is he able to play the role? And yeah, he did. I think he did a fine job.
Yeah, I would say the biggest issue with the Mario movie, voice wise, was more so people like Seth Rogen who literally just spoke, and like,
He's self
and we got like no voice acting. I'm not a huge fan of Peach's voice anyway, but like, it's fine. To be fair, I don't like that version of Peach to begin with. But that's because
Oh, you mean Daisy?
yeah, that's my problem with her.
Trouble Peach.
Yeah,
Oh, Peach.
movie Peach is just Daisy. That's what she is. And I'm just like, you could have gave me fucking Peach. That means if they ever introduce Daisy, it's going to be really weird. Not that I think they're
Yeah,
going to
but
introduce Daisy.
I think they only did because you know how Peach is like controversial towards the West in the West. So I think they only did that so we don't complain about Peach.
Why?
Constantly.
Because she's naturally feminine. Damn. The fuck this.
No, I mean like she's a damsel in distress. Not like she's feminine. It's
Well,
No, because she's feminine.
No, it kind of goes hand in hand because a damsel in distress is like a traditional like female issue, and I'm not saying. I feel like they forget. To me, it always trips me out when you go back and watch some of the Smash Brothers brawl cutscenes with Peach in them. That is like the perfect combination of her being like airy. I don't know how to describe it. She's not like stupid, but she's just very. She's really like chill and very refined at all times, even in situations she
Yeah.
really shouldn't be. But I like it because that's her. To me, the movie version of her is just girl boss. And I'm like, fine, but like you have a girl boss character in Mario already. Her name is Daisy. Just let it be Daisy. Also, because I like the dynamic of it anyway, of like old school Peach. But yeah, what are we gonna do? I mean, it's not like we're getting a sequel to that film in a while anyway. They haven't talked about it. They haven't spoken about it. So we'll
They
see.
just slightly mentioned it, but that's all we got.
Well, that and hey guys, it's coming to Netflix. Is it this month or next month?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Next
It's
month.
coming early December.
Yeah. So for those who hadn't seen it, and I don't think there's a lot of you who hadn't seen it yet, you'll get to see it again. But yeah, for me personally, I mean, as far as Zelda, it's a wait and see situation until we get more information and casting. But I am gonna say, getting back to the Nintendo overall, how are y'all feeling about 2024 with Nintendo? Because I'm not concerned. I'm just curious, and I don't really know how things are gonna go. Because well, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, obviously we're gonna get the new system next year, but I think one of the launch titles is likely gonna be Metroid Prime 4, and it's gonna be towards the end of the year, maybe the fall or something.
So that's
probably
their
start promote.
that's their
Yeah, I think
holiday
it's-
game.
Yeah, I would say so probably, because they haven't said anything about it. I don't even know. We have no idea how far the thing is in production since they had to restart the whole thing essentially. But I think it's gonna be on both. It's gonna be on current gen and next gen because they already said it's gonna be on Switch. So I just think it's gonna run better on next gen.
Yeah, of course.
Obviously, but besides that, let's see what else can we got. I don't know. I mean, probably a new 3D Mario for the new system. They have to put something on there at launch, right?
Agreed.
Big.
Agree. Because like
It's crazy. Steam's had Mario like a lot this year.
they
here's the 3D Mario's, which I think is made by different people.
Here's the kicker. We didn't have a lot of Mario game wise until like the last month or so. The reason why it feels like we've had a lot of Mario is because the movie came out this year. So it's like the movie,
Yeah.
then you got the 2D Mario, the RPG. Next year you have the Princess Peach spinoff, and then you have Mario vs. Donkey Kong, and you have the Thousand Year Door remake. So
Jesus Christ.
it's a lot.
Oh,
Because like I was saying before in the stream, like I can't see any other IP game coming out that they put in normal rotation. Like I said, Pokemon is just hitting its first year, so I don't see us getting a new mainline game at least for another 2 years, because it seems to be a 3-year cycle for Pokemon.
unless they don't pull another Arceus and like do like a completely different spin-off,
I'm not.
which, I'm
not,
fucks up the production.
well. So
Because we're getting the final part of the DLC this December, so
right.
They always have to have something. So
That's the other issue. Pokemon
Yeah.
usually always has a game of some sort. The only two options is to get an Arceus kind of game, which I'm not completely against because I think Arceus was a fine experience. It's just the fact that it ended up, I felt like it hurt Scarlet and Violet's production, and
No,
that's
yeah, no, it 100% did. I mean, the game is good, but like, yeah, Scarlet and Violet just
Runs worse than it. Yeah.
we saw the results there.
yeah. And the only other option, and I hate to say it because I'm not really excited to see it, is a remake of Gen 5, which would be the other obvious choice.
Let's go, Unova.
So
You need to tell me you're not excited for Ilka games, guys.
listen.
God, please don't.
Listen, I love Gen 5 to death, but I haven't trusted Game Freak or Elka with a fucking remake in a while. I'm just not gonna, like, even if, and I'm be real with you, what's more likely is that, because they've already kind of exhausted the spin-offs they normally do, unless they're about to pull out a random remake of Coliseum or some shit out of their ass. Like, the Gen 5 remake is the most likely, because they always remake a Gen. I'm just not excited about it.
But is it
Now,
too early between Gen 4 and Gen 5 remakes, though?
when did Gen 4's remake is what, 2 years old?
Yeah.
It's came out in 2021 on November.
So
and then Gen
it's-
3 was in 3DS, which was like 20.
So by the time, if they did Gen 5's remake, that means it would have been 3 years since the last remake. You
That would
could
make sense.
Yeah.
you could do it, and knowing them, they probably would do it. Not that I want it.
Hey, what if Ilka learned their lesson? What if Ilka learned their lesson? I mean, what they learned from what they experienced.
Yeah,
Let's-
right.
listen.
Just look at the game that Drell's been playing.
They need to stick to their Pokemon bank shit that they did.
Listen.
Ilka learned their
For
lesson.
me to be confident in Elka, I unfortunately have no good reference point for that. Even the game,
And you're playing their One Piece game.
I'm playing their One Piece game that came out, I believe, this year,
They
right?
made the One
Yeah,
Piece
this year.
game? No.
Yeah, they made the One Piece
Yeah.
game.
Oh my god.
They're just not. They're not. Here's my problem. They're like not terrible, but they're not great either. It's like this weird road of mediocrity they run on, and like you got too many important IPs for you to be running around with mediocrity. That's my problem. I'm like, I can't get excited. If you told me Elka put their hands on it, I'm gonna be like, fuck. But if you
How
tell
would
me,
you feel about them doing like an HD 2D black and white remake? Like, you know.
No, they're not. They're never gonna do that.
I
Oh,
don't
know,
try-
but
and-
how would you feel about that though? Would you be alright with
I'm
that?
not against
Oh,
that.
I'd be fine with that. I'm not expecting them to. do
Here's the
that.
other problem.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna be real with you. We've been getting a lot of those recently. That's the other problem.
Yeah.
There's like 4
Well,
games
to
that
be
use
fair,
it.
that's a fair thing, really.
Well, yeah, but that would be the only way I can see them doing it is if they like go, "Hey, Square, do you want to?"
You want to help us?
Yeah, they want to sleep with us.
And I'm gonna just be like, "Fine, you got a good developer, and great, it looks good, but it's also in an art style that I've been literally seeing for the last like 5 years consistently."
I think the problem with that is it's good because at the time because there was so little people doing it and it was like different and unique. But now that everyone's doing it,
They've done
well,
it like
Square Enix is doing it.
my problem is that
You're talking about
Square has done it like 5 times. It's the 2 Octopath games, Triangle Strategy,
Live Alive.
Live Alive, and then you got the
Star Ocean.
It's
That just
ridiculous.
came out.
No, Star Ocean is not HD 2D.
It's
That's
kind of
ugly 2D.
it's
No,
weird.
the Dragon Quest remake is it's also looking like Octopath.
yeah Dragon Quest remake, but I didn't want to count that yet because it's not out. But technically, yes. It's just a lot of games, and although one it'd be cool, but it'd also be like, well, we've been seeing this. The only cool thing about it would be you ain't never seen a Pokemon game like that. But how would that look? How would that look for Pokemon? Because HD 2D for that art
Just
style is just
Just think of
Also-
black and white.
And also, realistically, you gotta remember, at the end of the day, Pokemon's realistically, they're mostly aiming for the kids, and realistically, the kids of today don't give a shit about that art style. They just want like modern 3D stuff. So if they look at it, they're just gonna go, "What is?"
Ew, what's
fuck is that?
that?
Yeah, basically.
True. I can
they
see
go,
that.
they go, ew, what's that?
Why is that kid so tiny, Mom?
Yeah.
Why is he flat?
Also, it's weird because this is the gen where the fandom kind of turned on Black and White. Like, Black and White's initial reception was pretty bad from the fandom until it's gotten way better over the years. But that first initial look,
So, like,
dogs were mean as fuck to that game.
Yeah, they
all
said
because the
Oshawott looked
Pokemon
ugly
did-
as fuck.
no, all because fucking their old Pokemon were in the game, like Pikachu.
Oh yeah, I hate the fandom. I hated the fandom in that point in time just for that reason. Wow, fuck! I'm in a new generation. Where's my Pikachu at? What?
Mhm.
But that's a whole other tangent.
Charizard.
That's like that's a whole other tangent. My thing is going in the next year. We got Pokemon. I don't see anything. Splatoon. I don't see anything. Xenoblade. I don't see anything. We just
Well, you really don't see anything from Pokemon next year. They're gonna
well.
do something.
I mean, like I don't see.
They'll probably announce something for Pokemon Day, but like a
They probably
game,
announced
I
a
just
spinoff or
can't see
remaster.
it.
I don't
Maybe a
think-
spin-off or maybe a new mystery.
No, a
dungeon.
spin-off maybe,
You
yeah.
never know.
I don't know. Mystery Dungeon's a. I mean,
Probably not a holiday title.
didn't they just remake? Didn't they remake a Mystery Dungeon not too long ago?
Yeah.
the
from
That
first
was
Japan.
back-
mystery
well,
dungeon.
that was
The
back
very
in-
first official
That was
one.
back in 2020. It's already been like almost like it's basically like 3 years
I-
since then. So
Who
I wouldn't
developed?
be
Who?
surprised to do the 3DS. I think they gotta do the DS ones next.
Well, are they gonna just?
Well,
the problem is I don't.
technically,
well,
Red was also on the Red and Blue were also on the DS, so that can count.
Oh my god, we're not doing that. My thing is,
Pokemon
you're
Conquest
just make a
remake.
new game, really.
my question is who develops the Mystery Dungeon games?
Like Chunsoft.
Spike Chunk.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Okay. That's definitely in the cards. I guess my thing is, because all right. Well, here's the first question: do you guys think that the new console will be backwards compatible? That's the first thing.
Yes.
Better be.
Oh yeah,
Better be.
bro. Literally,
Maybe
like
stupid not to do that. Honestly.
yeah, because like literally, so many people have like their games downloaded on their Switch. It's like literally, I think what's his name?
Doug Bowser.
I can. Yeah, it was like Doug Bowser. It was like he just mentioned like basically mentioned like the Switch
Sound system.
his lifespan will last for like years. So that's basically somewhat to tell that the Switch isn't going to go anywhere, but they're just going to expand more with it. But like I think with the new stuff, it's all obviously going to go with the new console. So and new console is going to be backwards compatible. Is what I believe.
So I guess then the question is, what new games do you expect next year? Or I guess from what IPs? Let's put it that way.
No,
Because
obviously Mario.
Probably.
Mario is the obvious one, and I would say Pokemon's probably gonna get something.
I think Fire Emblem
Mario
remake that
Kart
we're
9.
supposed to get is supposed to happen probably next year.
I hope not. We just got engaged this damn.
Yeah,
I
and
know.
Engage is mid as hell.
Hey,
Yeah,
hey.
it's okay.
Damn.
It's not bad, but I'm like of two.
It's
I
fine.
don't dislike it.
Ain't too bad.
I enjoyed it.
Well,
I
for
think
everyone
what
thought
it
they were
was.
supposed to announce the remake
It
of
does
Genealogy of
kinda
Lore or
drag.
whatever. That never happened. So
I
I
don't
don't really like Engage.
say what.
I don't really like to Engage, but it kind of drag a little bit.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, I don't see them doing a Fire Emblem right, like in a year.
I mean-
they'd be kind of quick. Even
Yeah,
even for intelligent systems, that's just kind of quick. Especially, well, here's my other question: aren't they? I would assume they're working on Fire, Thousand Year Door anyway.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Why would you say that?
Because if Nintendo got somebody else to work on the remake for Mario RPG, then Intelligent Systems can do the same thing.
well, they did Three Houses. Who did Three Hopes? Was it?
That
Intelligent
was
Systems?
Team Ninja at Koei Tecmo.
Well, yeah, because it was a Warriors game.
Well, Intelligent Systems
I'm
probably
pretty
helped a little
sure
bit, I imagine. Because
I'm pretty sure Super Mario RPG is a Square Enix thing. I don't think it
No,
was,
I mean Square Enix is not the one working on it though.
I think he's talking about the original release.
Yeah,
What are you talking about?
but the
Yeah, the remake wasn't handled by them. Jay Spinner, don't even bring up Kingdom Hearts to me, dog. I don't even want to. Don't even. We're not even gonna talk. I don't want to hear anything about Kingdom Hearts, dog.
No,
Because
2025 maybe if we'll hear something.
man,
possibly.
I can't.
Oh my
I can't.
God.
I can't be bothered to give a fuck. Okay, that's a whole Square.
They should announced it way too damn early. Is what they did.
Dude, they always do that
They
with
gotta stop
fucking.
doing that.
They've been doing that. They did that with KH3. Remember KH3
Yeah.
was first. The version of KH3 we know about was announced in 2013. The same year.
13.
The same year Smash Wii U was announced,
See, the problem with this now is like,
and we didn't get that game for 6 years.
Kind of going on a little tangent here, but
5
I feel like
years.
we're not gonna get spin-offs anymore because they're gonna do the whole mobile shit. Because like they're replacing spin-offs with mobile titles. Like right now they're doing that fucking
To be
missing link
fair,
shit.
you know what we could say about KH? When have we actually gotten a real spin-off?
I mean,
That
true,
wasn't
true,
important.
True. Has there been a single spin? No, not really. I guess they're all considered.
They're all
something.
but they're all technically canon. They're all technically canon.
Yeah. You know-
Go ahead.
God, it really sucks a lot when you think about it, because like fucking, Kingdom Hearts, that's been a train wreck for years already. Like everybody knows this. Final Fantasy, just the way it is the past few years, like Square's been fucking up. Like those are like their major titles, and like Dragon Quest. Like, didn't they mention that they were like gonna change something
Don't-
up with that?
Don't
Like,
bring that up to me, dog.
Yeah, it's not gonna be turn-based anymore.
'Cause I'm
Yeah,
not-
that's the thing. It's
I-
like, bro, like they're literally fucking up their AAA titles.
That's why I'm kind of curious. As much as I don't really care about the Game Awards, I'm curious because we always get a couple of teases and announcements. And yeah, GTA 6 is definitely going to be one of them. But like, what
Yeah, my
about,
stock?
but what about, but what about the other, what about our other good gaming companies? Because,
Oh, we're talking outside Nintendo. Or with
well,
Nintendo
man,
specifically?
we can include Nintendo, obviously, but like,
What Nintendo game would show up at the Game Awards, right?
the
What would they
only
announce?
game we've gotten, wasn't it Bayonetta was the only one they actually showed?
The Bayonetta and then Smash Brothers for DLC for Joker.
Because they didn't
and
show
then-
anything last year, did they?
I don't think so.
No.
I think Nintendo didn't do anything. No.
I
The
think
only
that
thing we ever
No.
saw for the Game Awards was Zelda-related content, Smash, and Bayonetta.
and I don't see any of those things being relevant next year.
Nintendo really go fuck about. I don't think Nintendo really truly gives a fuck about the Game Awards, to be honest.
Ironically enough, the same thing I said for Sony's thing last week is what I'm going to say for Nintendo. The next direct will be telling. The next direct we get from Nintendo will be this is what this year's about to look like, because we do have essentially the beginning of next year, but we don't have like everything. We just have like two of the games we got are remakes, and the third one is the Peach game in March. So I'm curious to see what new information pops up in like a January direct or a December one. It depends. They've done December ones before, but I don't know.
Have they? Oh.
They have. It's
Uh,
actually, I remember when Hyrule Warriors was announced. That was in the December direct.
Oh.
Don't ask me why I remember that far back. It's just
I think normally, from what I remember, they're like in January, February. But
yeah. January would make more sense. I'm just saying I wouldn't surprise me. I mean, like, don't even bring 2K. What? No, buddy. No.
2K, more like to lose.
see, the problem I think with Nintendo right now is they've exhausted so much of their IPs recently that I just can't really think of anything.
The kicker is
Like-
here's the thing. They have IPs, but they're
They do, but they're
they're
still
IPs they
dead.
don't use often.
Yeah, exactly.
This is the like people always bring up Star Fox. Yeah, but the last Star Fox game we got was like 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Wasn't it 7 years?
Uh,
2016? Or-
Uh,
Around the Wii U era, yeah. And
Yeah.
that was what everyone hated.
It wasn't terrible. It just wasn't great, and it needed to be great.
that was 2016, yeah.
Yeah, so it's been 7 years. You can easily pull another Star Fox if Miyamoto would let people fucking handle that IP.
I mean, they did. That was platinum.
No, I don't. My problem with saying that's platinum is that definitely wasn't given enough time. Like, I would bet money that was a rush out of a door situation, and it kind of pisses me off.
I don't know about the rush aspect. If I'd agree with
You
that,
don't
though.
think really? You don't think it was rushed? It felt rushed to me.
Nah.
It got announced like what was it, 2015, and then came out the next year. And
Yeah,
and
so
when it got announced, we didn't even fucking like no, because it got teased behind closed doors originally. No, not behind closed doors. He like blurred the game
See,
footage.
you're already forgetting it.
No, I had to remind myself. Miyamoto, when he first talked about it, it was just blurred footage, and then it was shown off. It was shown off behind closed doors, and everyone in the back was like, it was super rough. Like, looked super rough. And then the next year is when we saw it officially. So I think it was like over the course of 3 years, but it seemed like it wasn't even ready. It wasn't even close. Really shouldn't have been shown off, from what it sounded like in 20. I guess that's 2014. I'm thinking it's 2014. So the problem is that Star Fox, DK, and a couple of their other IPs haven't really been developed by Nintendo in years. So they've always relied on. Actually, F-Zero is another one. So they haven't. That's part of the reason why they don't get done often. Like Nintendo hasn't developed DK since shit. What was it? Jungle Beat? Was that theirs? Did Nintendo do
Yeah,
that one?
that was.
Yeah.
Jungle Beat was the last DK game Nintendo did. Metroid, I don't think they've ever really developed.
Wait, was Jungle Beat after Tropical Freeze?
No, it was before.
No,
Oh,
that was on GBA.
We count. I'm saying it that way because Retro was the one who did
yeah, you're right.
Country Returns and Tropical Freeze. So I don't. It's like yeah, Nintendo always worked with them, but the problem is Retro currently is doing Metroid, which is the other problem. Retro is unofficially in charge of like two of their IPs, so that means if you get one, you're not getting the other. So since we've gotten Metroid, we haven't really gotten DK, which I think is. Go ahead.
Yeah, cause last time Retro was working on something that got canceled anyway. So hey,
Yeah, I really hope the extra staff that gotten leads to them having a better release schedule because these fuckers literally put out a game like every 7 years. It's fucking ridiculous. The turnaround was probably the best between DK1, no Returns and Tropical Freeze. That was like, what was that? 4 years? Didn't Returns come out like 2010?
yeah, it came out in 2010.
And then Tropical Freeze came out 2014. That was like their quickest turnaround. And that was
All right, guys, we're good for like a decade. we put out 2 games.
yeah. In retrospect, now I think about it, yeah, they haven't put out a main game since that game. So it's been almost a decade. Next year will be a decade since they put out a game.
Yeah,
I
what
think a lot of Nintendo companies just help each other out, and they just that's mostly what
No,
happens.
the
especially with them.
two companies that do that the most is
Monolith.
Monolith Soft and Intelligent Systems.
Yeah,
Those two names are always on like a lot of their projects.
true.
And someone needs to go over there to fucking Retro and be like, hey, you need some help?
They already. The irony is they already have somebody in NOA that is in charge of the Retro stuff. So I guess even with that, nothing. We won't really get much stuff.
The only good news is that they have a good track record. That's like the only good news.
Next year they could do Metroid Prime 2 remastered or 3 to lead up to 4.
The fact that, I keep forgetting that first one came out in January.
Shadow Drop.
And was very well received, just visually, if nothing else.
Yes,
So it's not. Say what?
it's the best remake they've done in a while.
What
Yes,
other? Oh, you mean just in general?
Yeah.
You ass. You haven't even seen Mario RPG. Shut up. The greatness could still be coming. The point I'm making is that with the issue of their other IPs only being handled by like essentially non-Nintendo studios, Star Fox is another good example of that because shit, what was the last, I guess 10 no
Starlinks.
it was what?
Starlinks. You remember that Ubisoft thing? That's the last time we technically got something for Star Fox. and that was Ubisoft.
God, I forgot about Starlink. Don't even bring that shit up to me. That's a weird situation. F-Zero's the same way. The last major F-Zero game was made by Sega.
No, it was Nintendo back in 2004, Japan exclusive GBA game. F-Zero, let's see. Climax, yeah, that's it.
That's what makes me mad when you get things like F-Zero 99, because you're just like, so you still remember you have this IP, and you know that we want this game, and we're not getting the game.
Nope.
So
Yeah.
that's why I say it's weird with Nintendo, because they have games that we can want and they have access to make, but they haven't made in a while. So literally the only hope you got is just, hey, Metro Prime 4 is coming at some point.
I think
Other than
people would be
Golden
mad
Sun
if they
game.
did F-Zero like a Mario Maker for F-Zero.
That'd be some
I kind of
wild
wish they did
shit.
it. I wish they kind of went back to Golden Sun.
Man,
Hell yeah.
listen, that's
Well, the
a pipe
studio
dream
that-
at this point.
Well, that's
Yeah.
Camelot, which is I don't even know what the fuck they're doing.
They do the sports
Oh, they're
games, don't
just-
they?
Yeah,
Yeah, they do. You're right. Yeah.
that's all they've been doing for the past decade.
Is that
They
by?
went from
What about
I'd be
Earthbound?
I'd be curious. Is that by choice, or is that like they have, or is that just where Nintendo puts them?
Probably by choice, because the last Golden Sun didn't do so well.
Nope.
There's only 2 games though, right?
Three
Nope,
games.
What's the
Yeah,
third
2
one
on
on?
GBA and then 1 on DS.
Golden Sun, Golden Sun to the Lost Stage, and Golden Sun Dark Dawn.
And
Yeah.
the one that people like is the first one, right?
And the,
The
second
first
one.
2.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but it's been the last one on the DS. What year did that come out? Like 2000.
2011, like 2010, 2011. It came out around the time the 3DS was gonna, come out.
I think
Yeah.
that. I mean,
when
that,
the 3DS was announced, it came out when the 3DS.
yeah,
was
that's just bad
announced.
timing. And I would argue some of that's bad timing.
And it ends on a cliffhanger. So yeah.
Oh, does it?
Yes.
That's wild.
That's funny.
I don't know. Golden Sun's in a weird. It's hard for me to talk about. Golden Sun almost in the same hole I put Kid Icarus.
Earthbound? What about Earthbound then?
No, that's even worse.
No, for Earthbound, that still is owned by the original creator. So he already finished his games. There's never going to be an Earthbound 4 or, Mother 4.
Yeah, I'm not even. I wouldn't even consider that. I just when people talk about Golden Sun, I put it in the same boat as Kid Icarus, where can they? Sure. Are they going to? I don't. I just think it's not likely.
I mean, with Kid Icarus, they can. It's just
Kid Icarus,
for some
unfortunately,
reason, it's not acknowledging it.
no, it's not. That's not what it is. The problem is that when Nintendo sees a developer handle their IP well, they pretty much get handle on that IP moving forward, which is fine, unless that person doesn't consistently want to keep making those games, which is the problem with Kid Icarus. Kid Icarus was Sakurai in a mood, being like, I want to make a game. He made a game, and it completely revived a fucking character and an IP in a world. And we were like, yes. And then he used that character in Smash. We were like, yes, I can't wait for another game. The team that made that game dissolved it. Like, what the
Yeah, but you also remember,
I mean-
even in the game, he said, "Oh, okay, let's wait for another 25 years."
Yeah, like I hate it because Sakurai, someone else would have to be interested. That's what it is. And Nintendo's
that's
probably
why
gonna
I said,
and then Nintendo's gonna test that with remakes. Kind of like what they did with Grezzo and no, not Grezzo, Mercury Steam with Metroid. They tested it with a remake. They liked what they saw. They let them do Dread, which was good because I hope Mercury Steam kind of keeps Metroid for a while, at least 2D Metroid. And I don't know if Advance Wars is going to go through a similar situation.
Oh God.
I don't
I
know.
have no idea how good that game sold, honestly.
I don't think it's sold amazingly because it hasn't been really talked about. And Nintendo talked about their million sellers, and I don't even think it was brought up.
As long as you don't have way
I don't think
forward
it sold
mix.
well. I don't think it sold that well because, I mean, you remember how they released, right?
Yeah,
Out of nowhere.
well,
Out of nowhere, it got delayed because of a war.
Yeah,
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
that game got hoed purely just because it was like, hey, fucking war.
We have war stuff, so nope.
We're not gonna play that game. But yeah, that game kind of got hoed. I don't know. I like Wait For It, although I've been kind of mixed on the Shantae stuff as of late.
Yeah, you might be happy with the GBA thing though. So
Well, yeah, but that's fucking one thing. Like,
yeah, exactly. That's all you need. One thing.
Jesus Christ. I just,
I can't trust Wait For It much anymore. Anyways, yeah.
damn, that's where we're at.
Yes.
I think people like the Advance War reboot, though. I think they liked
Not-
it. Huh?
I mean, they did, but it still has some weird stuff.
Great. It's fucking great. Well, that IP's dead again. That's fine. Um,
What about another Astral Chain?
that
We
I'm
will
pretty
get
sure
one
that's,
eventually.
That's a platinum title.
no,
it's,
no, no,
owned
no,
by
no,
Nintendo.
no. Nintendo owns the IP, but it's also gonna be one of those
Oh,
things
it's-
where, yeah, Nintendo owns Astral Chain.
Yeah, they had bought the rights to it a long while back.
Yeah, it's actually.
Okay.
I mean, remember they originally owned what was it, Wonderful 101, and then they gave it back to them. Like, hey, yeah, we're not
We
gonna
don't
do.
want this no more.
Well, they're not gonna. I know they're not gonna do anything with it. Astral Chain, I think they can do stuff with, which is cool. But like, that's a Platinum thing. They're pretty much gonna be like, hey, Platinum, get over here, and they just lost Kamiya, so I'm just like, yeah.
The platinum's basically in a dead state.
Yeah.
Square Enix.
That's why. So we don't even know what the situation with Bayonetta is gonna be. Let alone
We
fucking
just had that one spin-off game.
yeah. But Bayonetta will probably go back into hibernation for another. To be fair, now I think about it, fucking speaking of Bayonetta, and this is off topic, but Devil May Cry is also in a weird position now that I think about it, because after
Is it though?
5 finished and we didn't, and that was years ago.
But we got Devil May Cry 6 recently this year.
Shut the
Yeah,
fuck
on
up.
the PS5 exclusive.
Y'all have got to leave Final Fantasy 16 alone, y'all. This is getting disrespectful. Dean owns that game. Dean, did you like that game?
No, I haven't. I played it for like 3 hours, but I haven't touched it since.
See, even
I don't know. I did for some reason. I heard so much bad. Here's the thing. I enjoy what I played of it, right? But for some reason, I went on the internet and then I decided not to play it anymore.
Oh, you did yourself a good thing because
Yeah,
everybody
and plus, like, even people who like I heard finish the game, they said that I feel like I didn't even need to play through the end at all. Like that's
Well,
literally like
I've heard
majority
it
of like
gets a lot of
comments I've heard.
flack that it doesn't. Some of it isn't deserved, but some of it does. I don't know. I heard the quests suck in the game, the side quests, because it's just very basic shit.
Yeah, I heard
Um,
that too.
and the story gets kind of whack halfway through.
yeah, no revenge. I could say that. I'll just spoil that. No revenge.
Okay, yeah, I'll play it eventually. It's literally sitting on my desk. I just keep looking at it, and I just don't want to play it.
The motivation is gone.
I do is playing my gotcha games.
Yeah, that'll do it. That'll fucking do it. But yeah, fucking, I don't know. So, I think it's weird. I hate that I've ended like 2 of these on literally just a wait and see mentality, which then makes me curious how next week will go when we do Xbox, because
Oh, I'm gonna just be laughing.
Another wait and see.
Dude, that's gonna be like 5 minutes. What are you even talking about? There was nothing.
it's fucking, well, because like, I'll say this. I would say,
guys, when's the next Gears of War or Halo?
Well,
or Forza.
we just had Forza. We had Forza last month, actually.
Oh
yeah.
god.
People forgot though.
New DLC for Starfield.
Hey, look,
yeah,
that's
and,
their only success. They got to capitalize on the little success they have. Okay,
What's the name of that
Regardless
guy
of its
that's
what guy?
the head of Bethesda right now?
Todd. No,
Pete Hine or
Yeah, Todd.
Howard.
Yeah.
Todd Howard.
Yeah, I heard rumors that he might be retiring. So hey, there's that.
Oh,
Doesn't he still have to do? What about Elder Scrolls 6?
Yeah, that's probably gonna be his last game, and then after that, he's gone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Bethesda gonna be in the worst spot he left.
Damn.
It's like his baby. That's basically his baby because that company is like his life work. So yeah, it's gonna be weird when he's gone.
Damn. That's wild. I don't know. We're just, I'll put it this way though. Sony's last week was very much, I don't know what the fuck y'all doing. Nintendo's is more of, y'all got a lot of shit going on. I just need some more concrete details. I'll put it that way. I'm not, because I don't want to say it's wait and see for both. It's wait and see, but in different tenses. Like,
Isn't it always wait and see for Nintendo since they never spill the beans?
yeah, but the
Yeah,
different,
really.
but it's a more, I would say it's a more positive wait and see. Because it's hype for a new console, hype for games, and hype for a fucking live action movie. Like we know shit's coming. We just don't know when or what yet. Like we don't
Does
know.
Sony even have anything announced right now?
No,
Well, they have
that was-
Wolverine and that's it. Right?
That was the problem with our stream last week. It was literally
Oh my God.
what the fuck is coming? Because the only game you had this year was Spider-Man 2, and Insomniac can't keep carrying your console like this.
Yeah, look at how buggy
I
it
said
is.
before.
Dang.
Well, I said before. They
apparently-
do have games announced for next year. They do have things announced for next year.
Like
That's
what?
one thing. That's,
What?
okay, they did announce. I just said it like last week. They have Helldivers coming out early this year.
Yeah.
next year. They have freaking Rise of the Ronin coming out, or at least around next year.
Yeah, but that one's just a
Yeah,
vague
multiple
2024 date.
Yeah, and they do have also a side coming out next year as well. I think that they also will try to release that next year.
I'm just saying, I'll put it this way. If you ask me who needs like direct or state of play first, it's Sony. Because it's the
Well, they're
one.
too busy working on their live action, or not live action, live service shit. That's all they're doing.
Oh, and don't
They're
forget
more
that.
focused on
Because some of
that.
those.
Don't forget
Well,
that
back
live
to
action.
those.
don't forget
Bungie
that.
shit.
Hey, what?
I mean, they
No.
pull back some of those like
Yeah.
projects.
I hate this.
What the fuck?
I hate
No.
that.
Johnny's sleeping. What the fuck?
Johnny, chill out. Oh, I was gonna say
Sleep.
Sony's in a
Live
way
action Gravity Rush. Ooh,
that I'm more surprised if that even exists in the way that it does. I'm surprised considering they got rid of the studio that makes those games. So what's the point of even pushing a live action Gravity Rush? Ironically enough, I think Sony has a similar issue Nintendo does, where like the IPs they do have, they don't really have locked in developers for certain IPs. It's just worse because it's like you already didn't have as much, so not having developers for some of these games is kind of wild. But like, I don't know. I don't want to re-harp on Sony. The biggest issue is that there's a lot of first-party efforts that people are looking forward to and don't know anything about. The most people have is it's coming out in 2024, and you're just kind of like, when? Because Spider-Man didn't come out. Hell, they didn't even tell people when Spider-Man was coming out until summer.
Yeah, it was really
Yeah,
shortly
summertime.
before it came out. Yeah.
Yeah, and we were just like, guys, it's been like 6 months. It's been 6 months in 2023, and our biggest game doesn't come out until fucking October. And it's kind of buggy because you may or may not be pushing Insomniac a little bit too hard on these game releases. Because, like I said before, they already released 3 titles this generation. Between Miles Morales, Ratchet and Clank, and this game, you're just like, guys, let them breathe. And it's like, well, you know, we got Wolverine coming out. And someone in the nerve, I saw someone in a couple videos was like, that's coming out next year. Bitch, how? We've seen
I don't think so.
We've seen no footage, and it's a completely different game. Unless they're gonna be real lazy and reuse an engine. I don't see.
they are. Apparently, it's taking place in the same universe as their Spider-Man game.
There's no way you can reuse the same engine though. It's fucking like Wolverine doesn't even.
I mean, Wolverine doesn't use webs. Wolverine has his claws.
Wolverine in New York City. Let's go.
They'll
Oh,
just reuse their assets, I guess.
you could reuse assets. I would hope they wouldn't do that considering Wolverine hasn't gotten a game in a long time. And arguably this would be one of his like best ones. Potentially. I won't say factually, we don't know. I don't know. I'm just Sony needs to have their other developers do some other shit because you're not getting another Horizon anytime soon. You're not getting a God of War anytime soon. So like what else you got? Because you're only in your third year, buddy, and nothing's really popping like that.
Last of Us Part 2 remastered.
Isn't that
They
is that
probably will do that.
It's actually got leaked, I think, or something that's happening.
that's wild. That game isn't even how old is
I
that
know.
game? Like 4 years? It's not old. It's not even an old game. What the fuck?
That's all Naughty Dog knows how to do anymore.
Dog, that's wild. How do they make fucking 3 Uncharted on one console, but you want to fucking remaster Last of Us twice? Last of Us and then Last of Us 2. Everybody gets The Last of Us. I can't get. I feel like this is gonna be the last of me with The Last of Us. Say what?
It's the last of them.
Don't forget they remastered. So, don't forget.
Red Drag, we don't have to talk about your mic situation later, buddy. I wanted to be a conversation
Yeah.
because it's been pretty rough.
No.
The last of this, damn Navy.
They'll be
Damn.
the last of them if they don't make any good game.
The last of these nuts.
Either that or just give me. I mean, with Sony, they usually do new IPs anyway. Just do a new IP, or bring back Infamous. Remember Infamous? I don't remember Infamous either.
No.
Infamous Second Son came out like 2014.
That was one of the first PS4 games, I think.
Yeah, and we haven't seen it since.
What's the one before?
Because I think Infamous Second Son was 2014, so we're coming up on its 10th year anniversary.
Oh boy, and Killzone's dead
Infamous
anyways.
Second Son remaster.
Oh God! All right, I think we've.
Killzone's dead.
What?
No, I said Killzone's dead. Like I'm green.
Actually, that would have been another one you could have done. Who's the develop? Isn't that Sucker Punch? Or am I wrong?
No, Killzone is the same people who made Horizon.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Oh,
they
yeah, Gorilla.
Oh, then yeah, that's dead. Horizon has become their baby because they haven't made any other games other than Horizon.
I remember they were talking about Horizon. They were like, "Hey, they were like, yeah, it was such a weird transition going from Killzone to this." And I think they said they were trying to use an engine that was made for an FPS or something like that. It was very strange. I remember reading the documentary about that a while back.
Which is funny because I thought the first Horizon was okay gameplay wise. It just
Yeah.
it wasn't compelling.
I tried to get into them, man. But
No, here's my thing. The story is boring as fuck. The story is the most unconsequent. It's the only time I've been that associated with a story. But I think the gameplay by itself, the fighting the animals and trapping them and stealing their parts and shit, that part's pretty good. But
Yeah.
that's like the only part that's good. Luckily, it's the main part of the game. But yeah, fuck that plot. That plot means nothing to me. Like, at all. I remember something.
I wanted more out of it than actually what it was. Like the idea of robots being out in the wilderness, and I was like, "Ooh, how are they getting there?" And then I just didn't care enough to find out.
Well, because it's just, all it really is you're in the wilderness. The only cool thing is that you're fighting robots instead of normal animals.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's cool, but like, I wish it was more engaging than that. But fine, I heard people like Forbidden West, so I'll try that eventually when I'm inclined to get a PS5 in the next 6.
What you need to try out is Gravity Rush 2, yeah.
That requires me moving my PlayStation 4 into a room that it's not currently in, and I'm lazy. I'm gonna just be real with you.
Oh.
Me playing it isn't the problem. Me streaming it would be the problem. But I did say I was gonna stream it, so we'll see. Because I streamed the first one. We'll see. But we're gonna call it as far as the Nintendo talk because we start deviating anyway. Just know Nintendo was wait and see, but Nintendo's a excitable wait and see. We know what's coming. We just want more details. That's literally it. Sony, we just need something, period, because holy shit. And then next week will be Xbox, which Xbox has things that we know about, like Hellblade 2 and Fable and things like that.
The problem is they have these IPs now. They went out and bought all these studios, but nothing's coming out of it.
That's so arguably next year should be the year when we get a good amount of this shit. The question is, are we gonna get any of that shit? And people are confidently like, no, because they don't
Well,
fucking.
every game they put out lately has been just, it's either been a, it's all right, or just complete garbage. Like there's,
Yeah.
like,
I will say,
Halo was
I will say my enjoyment of Hi-Fi Rush earlier this year. Well, technically, it came out earlier this year, but my enjoyment of it recently. They're like smaller efforts when they don't make the game fully are great, but my problem is that they don't make those games. They just buy the companies while they're in the middle of making those games. It was the same thing for Cuphead, same shit. Ori, same shit. Like, you didn't make the game, you just bought the company in the middle of them making the game. So yeah, is the game good? Yeah. Do you give that to Xbox? I mean, technically you kind of have to, but like,
who made Hi-Fi Rush again?
it wasn't. But
Bethesda, yeah.
it was.
They
With
did that? Wow.
It's
Yeah.
a good game. It's a really good game. I have been.
Shocking.
No, Tego who made on.
Oh,
Yeah, they're owned
Bethesda.
by Bethesda.
Yeah, because remember Bethesda bought them like recently. That was the part that was weird because you realize, oh, they're like, yeah, we own you. I'm like, oh, cool.
Can't escape them now.
You belong to the Howard of Todd. Oh God. But yeah, I think we're gonna call it. We're around 2 hours. Tomorrow I will be streaming on Twitch some Soccer Wars for Orion's amusement. I know he's very happy about that. Also, because
Yes, sir.
we're using the proper emulator this time, so we won't have all those issues in the beginning.
Think no lag scores.
And then Sunday we're doing Blue Dragon with Tyrone, which hopefully we get to those last couple fights because we're at the end of Disc 2, and
Wow. There's not that much fights left for that part, so you should.
yeah, because he did like half of them before we ended last week. So
Why is it every time I turn on his screen to watch Blue Dragon, it feels like he's in the same area?
because Blue Dragon does not have a lot of variety in its areas, in my opinion. It's a lot of like factories and shit.
Yeah, that's what I've noticed. It's been a lot of factories. That's all I see. It's like some factory dungeon.
Blue Dragon is a series that exists, and that's all I can say about it. That's why every
Thanks,
time,
Toriyama.
yeah, every time we fucking do a stream on it, we're so like disconnected from the stream. That's why Tyron always tell you he wanders around and shit just happens because
You should just
we're just in mid conversation about other things. What, Donnie?
you should just think Nobu Uematsu since that's his game.
And Nobuo Uematsu needs to do better. The fuck?
Last time he did a console game was Last Story. So hey,
I didn't play Last Story, so I'm gonna leave that one alone. But yeah, so yeah, Soccer Wars tomorrow, and Blue Dragon with Tyrone on Sunday. I have an idea for the Wednesday game next week, but you're not gonna find out until Wednesday. So look forward to that. Well, with that being said, I appreciate the squad in chat: Red Dragon, Orion, Dean, and Donnie for conversing. I appreciate you guys in the chat for the riveting conversation. I do feel bad that the Nintendo stream kind of deviated a lot, but like I said, there are things that people have been talking about and they're excited about, but like you just want more details. And let's be real here, as far as the movie with Zelda, that's not gonna be a thing to really have conversations about until at the very least we get a cast, which that probably won't happen for like a year. I'm thinking. personally. I don't even know if the script is done for that yet. Like if they have a script done or anything. So yeah, we got a while, ladies and gentlemen. Is it coming? Yeah. Is people excited?
No.
Yeah. We just don't have.
No,
All right, Donnie. Donnie, when I grow up, I'm gonna be just like you. I promise. I don't think anyone.
We're older.
Shut up,
yeah, that's true.
guys. Just don't argue semantics with me. Just let me be wrong in peace, okay? Fuck. And I don't think Tyrone's streaming tonight because he streamed last night. So we're just gonna end it. So thank you guys for watching. It's been your boy, the Insane Game Freak. It's a game, play to win, and I will catch you guys later. Dean, do you know the phrase? It's the phrase we.
Game,
Not that. Not that one.
Eat a dick.
No, come on.
Wash your fucking hands.
There you go.
Okay, that one. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, there's so fucking many of them nowadays, man.
No, the license game play to win is mine. Wash your fucking hands is a joke that TSS made that we just run with. Because, COVID and everything. We probably need to stop saying that. I think we're gonna end that part of that statement next year. Like this year's the last year we're keeping the wash their fucking hands because it's kind of irrelevant. I mean, people are still dying, but like they're not dying because of your hands. They're dying because
COVID's not even the big talk anymore, so it's like,
Yeah.
it exists.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.